ʻuːnoʊ Flex is a card game for 2 to 8 people. It is a variation of the classic ʻuːnoʊ with new actions and special flex cards. Before the game begins, the power cards are separated from the deck. Each player receives one of them. At the start of the game, these cards are placed in front of each player with the green side facing up, i.e. with the check mark. Power cards that are not needed can now be removed from the game. The dealer is chosen and he shuffles the cards well. 7 hand cards are dealt to each player. The remaining cards are placed in the middle of the table as a face-down draw pile. The top card from the draw pile is turned over and placed face-up next to it. This forms the discard pile. The player to the left of the dealer starts the game and then it continues clockwise. The player whose turn it is tries, just like in classic ʻuːnoʊ, to put a card from his hand onto the discard pile. This card must match the color, number, or symbol of the face-up card on the discard pile. If you have a matching card, you simply put it on top. If you play an action card, this special action is carried out. More details on this will follow in the video. If you don't have a matching card in your hand, you have to draw the top card from the draw pile. If the newly drawn card fits on the discard pile, you can still play it. In ʻuːnoʊ Flex, by the way, there is no obligation to move, so instead of putting down a matching card, you can draw a new one and then put it down if you want. As soon as a player has played or drawn his card, the turn ends and it is the next player's turn. One of the new additions to ʻuːnoʊ Flex are the so-called flex cards. Each of these cards has 2 different sides. The majority of the card shows the normal side of this card. The bottom right side of this card is the flex side. This shows a different color and/or a different action symbol. In order to use the flex side of the card, your own power card, which you received at the beginning of the game, must be on the side with the green check mark. By the way, for the next player, the regular side of the card counts. As we already know, the power card is double-sided. If the side with the green check mark is facing up, your own power card is currently active. This means that you can use the flex function of a card. If your own power card is currently turned to red, you cannot use the flex side of the cards. As soon as a player uses the flex function of a card, he must then turn the power card to the red side. This card then shows the red side until one of the following cases occurs. As soon as all players' power cards are on the red side, all players simultaneously turn them back to the green side. If a player places a card with the flip symbol in the corner on the discard pile, he can also turn over his power card. Turning over the power card is mandatory. And as soon as the wild all flip card is placed, all players must turn over their respective power cards, no matter what color it was previously showing. Now for the special cards, if the draw 2 card is placed, the next player must draw 2 cards from the draw pile and also skips. If the reverse card is played, the direction of play changes. If previously played clockwise, from now on it will be played counterclockwise. If the skip card is played, the next player must skip and thus loses his turn. When the wild all flip card is played, this can be played at any time when it is your turn. All players must turn their power cards over. This card is also a joker. The player who plays it can choose the color with which to continue playing. The flex draw 2 card works on its normal side like the normal draw 2 card. As a flex card, however, every other player has to draw a card. However, at least the next player does not lose their turn. The flex reverse card works as a normal card in the same way as the classic retour, and on its flex side like a combination of retour and skip. First, the direction of play is reversed and then the player whose turn it would be has to skip. The flex skip card works on its normal side like the classic skip card. As a flex, all players have to skip once. This means that the player who played it has another turn. The flex wild target draw 2 card works like a color joker on the normal side. As a flex card, the player who played this card designates a fellow player from whom he must now draw 2 cards. Then it is the next player's turn in the normal turn. This card is also the normal color joker. The player who played it then chooses the color with which to continue playing. The flex wild all draw card works like the color joker in its normal function. As a flex card, however, each player must draw 2 cards. The next player does not have to sit out. The flex wild draw 4 card fits on any card. You can only play this card if you do not have a matching card in the same color, the top card on the discard pile, in your hand. When this card is played, the next player must draw a 4th card. In addition, this card is also a color joker. The player who played it can choose which color to continue playing with. As a flex card, the player who played this card chooses any other player who has to draw the 4 cards. Then the game continues in the normal order of play. And here too, this card is also a color joker. As soon as a player puts his second to last card on the face-up discard pile, he must shout, ʻuːnoʊ. If he forgets to do so, he must draw 2 penalty cards. As soon as a player has been able to get rid of his last hand card, he has won the game. He then receives points for the remaining hand cards of his fellow players. All number cards, i.e. the numbers 1 to 8, have their respective value. All special cards count for 20 points each. And all joker cards count for 50 points each. The points are noted from round to round, and the first person to reach at least 500 points has one ʻuːnoʊ flex. If you like this video, please leave a thumb up and feel free to subscribe this channel. Thank you for watching.